Ladies and gentlemen, gits and grots, welcome back to another episode of Red-Rupee cast featuring Dawn of War 2, the Elite mod. Our players today in this 2v2 matchup are Khorne as the Imperial Guard Inquisitor alongside Hagen, the Eldar Farseer. Their opponents on the red side, Asmon as the Eldar Warlock, and then the big, the bad, the Bruce Campbell as the Commando Knob for the Orcs. So two Eldar, an Orc, and an Imperial Guard. We're also on a brand new map. This is Fen Dunlock. So even in 2020, we're getting new maps in the Elite mod. New maps are coming in pretty much, I guess, about every patch or so we get a new map. At least one. This is a 2v2 map. As you can see, it's a kind of big open swampland. It's very like Company of Heroes, I feel like. There's a big crossroads in the middle for the center VP. Not a lot of big structures or anything. A couple small garrisons around the map as these first engagements get going. I don't want to spend too much time roaming around the map, but you'll see it as it goes on. I think it's a pretty cool map. And as we can see, big Orc coming in here for triple sluggers from Bruce Campbell. Khorne going with the pretty typical double guardsman sentinel open for Imperial Guard, but the stomp comes on just a few moments too late. Is not able to stop that Orc advance, and it looks like it's going to be a fairly easy route from the Orc forces. Oh, well, maybe I spoke too soon. The Sentinel looks like it's just enough, along with the Inquisitor herself, to push back the at least a couple of those Slugger boys. The others are going to start moving out and tapping the rest of the map. Meanwhile, on this side of the map, double Banshees coming in from Hagen. So we have one player on both sides. Going for a melee-focused build. We've got double Banshees for Hagen, the triple Sluggers for Bruce, and now going into a Luda Boy as well. This is actually a match that I observed while I was casting and streaming on Twitch earlier this week, and I didn't actually get to cast it because I was eating lunch at the time. So it was a pretty exciting match. I'm eager to kind of actually look at it and analyze how things went down. So triple gens down on one farm. Both sides pretty much dropping their generators about the same time. Red team a little ahead in the power income, but not in any significant manner. The Inquisitor going to try to throw down with this Commando Knob. Now Khorne and Hagen both have heroes that I think are at a slight disadvantage in the early game. Luckily, looks like the Warlock went down early already. But Asmon and Bruce Campbell have heroes that I think will be a little more aggressive in the early game, but as the blue team comes online with both the Farseer and Inquisitor, a lot of their war gears, a lot of those more powerful spells and abilities come online in Tier 2 and Tier 3. So we're going to have to see if the tide of power sort of changes as those bigger threats come along. Oh my gosh, the Farseer now going down as well. Looks like both Eldar armies not having a great time trying to support their champions. Now both the Warlock and the Farseer are down. Orc boys over here just blasting flame into the gen farm of the blues, man. I don't think there's much faster way to get gens off the map than triple Slugger boys with triple flamers. Bruce singularly annihilates all that stuff, and now it looks like the Banshees are trying to get into the retreat path here. Not quite going to finish anything off. They've got another squad of Orc boys to chop up. Are they going to get the job done? Not quite. A couple Orc boys get out of it. Not with a lot of HP though. Oh my gosh, it's a massacre. Perfect positioning there from the Banshees. Unfortunately, they don't manage to quite get any squad kills. As it stands, things are looking pretty alright for the blue team after that engagement. A lot of bleed going into Bruce Campbell's army there. Khorne going for the Catachan Devils. But without any power, the blue team's going to start falling quite a bit behind. Not to mention the victory points. The victory points are 3-0 cap against the blue team right now. Hagen and Khorne need to get themselves onto the map. Not concerned with victory points, though. It looks like they want to return the Gen Bash, at least try to keep this tech race from getting too far out of hand. A nice Eldar flank here, though, puts a stop to that. Banshees and the Shuriken Cannon moving into position. The Sentinel in a lot of trouble, too. Catachins dislodge it at the perfect moment, and now we have a melee scuffle here on the side. Banshees versus Slugger Boys. I think the Banshee melee skill is going to pull them ahead. Oh my gosh, there goes one squad. The Banshees might get that second one. Sentinel also trying to escape, but the Inquisitor's crossbow bolt pistol dropping down a barrage there to pin those Banshees in position. Warlock is back up, has the Merciless Witchblade, stuns some Banshees in the far seer. And engagements happening all over the map right now. On the left side, Captain going down. A little bit of chaos right there. Bruce lost a Luda Boy and a Slugger squad in that last set.
Adding warp generator.
But now heading into tier 2. Both of the red team players teching up. Army's going to be online a little bit quicker than their blue counterparts. Full gens up for both sides now. And some sneaky Ork boys trying to maybe find this Inquisitor a little out of position. The hammer comes down, but it allows the Orks to get into melee range and instant retreat over here. And the Sentinel has to be a little careful. It is very low. Another barrage from the Commando Knob could be all it takes to finish this thing off. It looks like it's just fast enough to get out from under the flame. Even the Flamers at this point could pose a threat to the Sentinel. And I don't think there's anything these guys can really do against these Slugger Boys. The Catachin Devils are coming over here to spot. They'll give them some knockback and disruption options as well. Looks like the Sluggers do have to retreat.
We must arm for even crueler warfare.
And now on the far side of the map, Shuriken and Banshees setting up. Still double Banshees on the ground for Hagen. And come tier 2, I think that's going to get pretty scary. Once those Howling Banshees get their X-Arcs and Farseer maybe get some more intimidating war gear. This double Banshee squad could, we already saw it dispatch a couple of Ork squads in the blink of an eye after already bleeding those Slugger squads down to one model earlier in the game. So tons of bleed coming in for these Banshees. They've actually been really effective, which oftentimes is not the case for two melee squads in team matches. Even in this match, we've seen Bruce's Sluggers not be terribly effective beyond getting that Gen Bash in. That said, the Gen Bash wasn't insignificant. We're going to have an Ork truck out here shortly while Khorne is just now heading into tier 2. So those Sluggers, if nothing else, bought themselves a nice window for that Ork truck to go around unchallenged. Banshee's going to try to get a Gen Bash in here, but I don't think they're quite going to get it in time. Grenade goes down. Looks like a little bit of indecision there from Hagen. He wasn't sure if he wanted to Gen Bash or engage, and ultimately just lost the two Banshee models for nothing. In the meantime, an improvised explosion going down over here, actually doing pretty good damage to that Ork truck. That was not insignificant, but look out, the truck's full of Slugger Boys now with knobs as well. The full Imperial Guard army does have to retreat. And there's nothing out here they can do with these Slugger Boys in this truck.
The foe seeks to deprive us of a vital resource.
If I were willing to bet, I'm sure he's going to be hitting those gens again with all these Slugger Boys, burning them down a second time. Victory points evening out. A little stall here from the Rangers. Double Banshees and Rangers. I don't think I've even really seen this tier 1 build from Hagen before. Normally you see double Rangers or triple Dire Avengers. Not often the double Banshee into Ranger. I guess with the Rangers you have the kinetic shot, right? You can kinetic shot, swarm with Banshees, you can knock over the Shuriken teams, allow your melee squads to get in there. And a brief moment of silence as both players and both teams try to reposition, try to find the advantage here. Khorne going for an Ogren squad, Hagen with a Falcon. The Ogrens are, I guess, an okay choice. I don't know. I feel like I'd rather see a Chimera or something like that to support all its infantry. The Ogres will be kind of a nice counter here. Oh my gosh, a rocket barrage coming down. It's right on top of the improvised explosive. Oh my gosh. Fortunately, that was almost disaster. If this infantry hadn't moved and that tank buster barrage hit the IED actually does do friendly fire. So the combination of the AoE between those two attacks may well have just deleted those catachins off the field. And man, the Ork truck just showing. Oh, the Banshee squad went down there. Tank buster barrage coming in. It's chaos in the middle of the map right now. Banshee's in hot pursuit of the Sentinel, but they're not really going to get the job done. The Banshee squad, as I mentioned, did go down for Hagen in that massacre in the middle of the map there. And the Falcon finds itself a squad of tank busters. Another volley or two could be all it takes to take this Falcon off the map. This Eldar transport has some pretty great firepower, but its durability is a bit lacking. Tank busters hop out of the truck, they drop some rockets into that Falcon. It does survive, and it looks like the tank busters will have to retreat. They're not going to be able to drive into that thing and try to get one more barrage in there, but it is a truck that's full of slugger boys. Not something you can take lightly, especially with those knobs on the field. Catachin Devils getting swarmed by these orcs. They have to be very careful here. They can deal some melee damage, but they can also go down very quickly. Farseer's doing whatever she can to try to support these squads, but a guardsman squad goes down. The Orc boys ripping through the enemy ranks. Nothing can stop these sluggers. The Rangers are doing what they can, but picking off one Orc at a time is not a great way to deal with a dozen or more Orcs hacking away at your opponent's army. Ogren's on the field, and there's a weird boy out here too. I don't know, Ogren versus Banshees and a weird boy. There's sluggers. I don't think this is the right choice for Khorne, but we'll have to see how he chooses to support them in the coming engagements. We've got Valkyries coming in, dropping bombs. Fire bombs on the Orc truck, but it doesn't really come to much effect. Falcon moves forward. Looks like at least two of those Ogrens, so an Ogren and the Bonehead do survive. So at least he didn't lose the Bonehead. But Ogrens are not cheap to reinforce. The Sentinel pretty beat up here. Asmon down to just a few squads. I don't know what he's saving up. Oh my gosh, he's fast tech into tier 3, and a fire prison's coming out on the map. So fast tech from Asmon. Heavy weapons team gets forced off by a sneaky grenade there. Orc truck over here on this side of the map, looking to flank the Falcon. The barrage does miss. The Falcon reacts appropriately, gets the heck out of there. No gens burned. The Orc flank looks like it might not have quite gotten enough done. 189 to 315. The victory points have just been going back and forth. Triple cap versus triple cap. So despite not being very deep into this game, we're already down pretty low on the VPs. Approaching 150 for the blue team, which means they need to get on that point desperately. The Ogren Rush comes in, and this is not where you want to be as a commando knob. He's going to get knocked out pretty easily. I'm not even sure, I don't think he's going to get up in time. The chain knockback is too much. Bruce just laughs as his commando knob takes a little nap there on the side of the map. Weirdo's in a lot of trouble. He's not paying attention over there. He's too busy talking. Loses his weird boy while he's talking to his teammate. Hops there right over those nasty swamp trees. Heavy weapons team gets set up just in the nick of time, slows the Banshee advance, allows the Ogrens to keep hacking away though. They don't have the melee skill it takes to deal with these, so they're constantly getting knocked back by the Banshees. And have they spotted the fire prison yet? Well, if they haven't, they have now. Fire Prison trying to do what it can to prevent these caps so they can close out the game. This is the last place you want to be, is have your opponents at less than 80 points and then start losing. Oh my gosh, the Warlock went down as well. I think the Warlock picked up the Commander Knob and then paid for it with his own life, so a bit of a trade there. Levitation field on double Slugger Squad, launching Orks and Ork bits all over the place, allowing the Banshees to hack away here. The Ork truck not able to protect them when they're trapped in that levitation field. Oftentimes you'll see Orks pop in and out of those trucks trying to get their shots in and do a little hit and run, but not this time around. As soon as those Orks popped out, levitation field went down and they were trapped in the battlefield, completely defenseless against the Eldar onslaught. So with 300 points remaining, it looks like the red team's actually starting to falter a little bit here. They lost one Ork truck, a second one's on the map. There's a fire prism on this side. Managed to take out the Sentinel and force back the heavy weapons team, so they will hold this side of the map. Commander Knob forced off. There's an IED over here, but it's not going to be enough to hit the squad. The squad's a little too spread out. Doesn't do small damage, though. That's a pretty beat-up shuriken weapon team.
From greater numbers.
Hagen now getting a fire prism of his own to answer the dual fire prisms now of Asmondius. And with these two very long-range weapons platforms on this bright open map, speaking of two, there might only be one here shortly. There's a Seer Council and Banshees screaming in there, trying to get some hits, but the constant knockback of the fire prism that actually breaks the tanks free with the melee charge. Oh my gosh, and the Falcon gets destroyed by some hit and run of the Orks over here. It goes careening out of control into the swamp. Perishes on the far side over there where it will be its last resting place. Tank Buster's getting a kill on the power here. The opposing fire prism now exposed. And again, like I said, triple caps keep going back and forth. Despite this being a very even game, it's going to end quickly if the caps keep going this direction. 161 to 71 now. The final shot of the fire prism. Ork truck crashes into the Eldar base. Knobs and Sluggers and Tank Busters inside of that thing. Wow, that squad got taken out very quickly with the Farseer coming in supporting. I can't believe those Rangers survived, but the levitation field would have spelled certain doom for those Knobs. So unfortunately, despite having Knobs in the enemy base, he couldn't really do much with them with the Farseer there to support. That levitation field has been super useful. Instead of double Banshees, Hagen replaced one of the Banshee squads with that Seer Council. But it's so difficult to attack points when there's two fire prisms. You can never get a cap down in these melee squads. The fire prisms may have been the perfect answer to these melee squads. A good flank coming in from the open squads. Oh my gosh, and a final shot from the opposing fire prism takes out one of the tanks from Asmon. These skimmer tanks floating around the battlefield, dealing damage from such long range, and fairly quick too, so they can kind of get in and out of there pretty easily. Seer Council can't stand against the Knob with the Fire Prism adding support, and it looks like the blue team will hold the point for the time being. But I'm not sure for how long. We've got Cloaked Knobs, Sneaky Boy Knobs moving in over here on this side of the map. Catechins are keeping a close eye on the natural VP of the blue team. The Altark drop was useful, but the Altark's going to have a hard time getting too much done here at this late stage without some serious support. An 8 comes down in the middle of the map. Does manage to rout a couple of the Imperial Guard squads, but the Eldars are hanging strong. Catechin Devils over here along with Ogrins to deal with the Knobs. I think this might be a somewhat even fight. We're going to have to see how it goes down over here. Bruce Campbell purchasing the final piece to the Ork puzzle, the big bad battle wagon. He doesn't have many squads on the field. It's allowing the blue team to kind of get back into this, but with the fast tech coming in here, this battle wagon might be a nightmare to deal with. There's not a lot of anti-vehicle on the field. This heavy weapons team is it has been upgraded to a las cannon, so that will actually help control the battle wagon a little bit when it gets onto the field. Khorne going for a Lehman Russ tank as well.
Only fools rush.
So I think the las cannon and the tank is actually going to be a pretty good answer to the battle wagon. Has to be very careful with that opposing fire prism. Do we have... Oh my gosh, that must have been a Farsight cast, because there's nothing up there to support for that fire prism. The Farseer using her global ability to spot anywhere on the map for these long-range weapons. Things like fire prisms and D-cannons can be particularly lethal in the hands of the Farseer because she can spot without needing a forward squad. So an excellent snipe on the enemy fire prism there. Hagen's army is looking very superior right now. We've got a D-cannon, a Wraith Lord, a Fire Prism, tons of melee support. We've got long range, close range. The battle wagon's streaming onto the field here, but is it going to be enough? 41 points for the blue team. They can't lose the BPs for very long at all, but they only have 100 to take off the Reds. This battle wagon might be a little too brazen charging in here. A Rock Strike comes down to dislodge that las cannon heavy weapons team and push back the Bright Lance. Expensive to stop a setup team, but it might be worth it to save a battle wagon from certain doom. He was a little too brazen with that thing, I think. Oh my gosh, look at all these improvised explosive devices. One that goes down. Is the second going to fire now as well? No, the Catechins are just going to go in and finish the job themselves. Shuriken trying to keep the Ogrins on lockdown in the meantime. It looks like the blue team will still hold on this side in that. Meantime, in the middle, oh my gosh, we come back to another levitation field over here, launching all of these melee threats into the distance there. Wraith Lord got a little beat up, but the battle wagon is looking quite bruised. Khorne decided to trade out the Lehman Russ for the Baneblade, though. I'm not sure if that's been the right choice, though, because the Lehman Russ would already be on the field and helping them hold the point. If they lose the points at this point, the Baneblade might be a little too late to get onto the field. It's still out here trying to do something. The Wraith Lord goes down. Fire Prism is still up, but that battle wagon is holding strong on the center point, and it looks like on this side of the map, they're losing their final victory point to the Warlock. Now Champion Robe, Heart of Darkness. Pretty standard beefcake Warlock build. Makes it very difficult to remove from the point. The points are rapidly ticking down. The Baneblade is here, but is it going to be enough against the battle wagon and the tank buses? It's already taking some pretty serious damage. The D-cannon gets assaulted by knobs. It goes down in the blink of an eye, completely crushed under those big knob hammers. And it's just Bedlam here, a 2-0 cap though. I think that might be it. The Baneblade's on the field, but as I mentioned, it was just a bit too slow. The VPs are taking down, oh my, the Farseer's on the point. Can she cap? Oh my gosh, she gets knocked off by the battle wagon. The battle wagon acted the big roller, which has infinite knockback there. The battle wagon goes down, but it lasted just long enough to close out the game. And that's it. Roos and Asmon take it by the skin of their teeth, by the way. We got some floaty knob boys here. Got the Farseer hanging out and taking cover underneath of some floating orcs. Yeah, the blue team managed to get the Warlock off the point, take this bottom point back, but just not quite fast enough. The Warlock managed to get that critical capture in. And Khorne with the... I mean, we can even see the Baneblade almost went down as well. There's a lot of damage coming in from those knobs. I feel like sticking with the Lehman Russ tank may have turned the tides a little bit earlier. They just needed a little bit more of an anti-vehicle threat to deal with that battle wagon. Granted, they didn't know it was coming, but they should have suspected a little something from Bruce as he only had a few squads on the field. Anyways, that wraps up our game for today. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Follow me on the social media. I'm streaming daily on Twitch right now, Monday through Friday, so come stop by the stream. Check out some live games, learn some stuff, watch some games, hang out with some other Dawn of War and 40K fans. This has been Red-Rupee. I'll catch you guys next time.